Hi everyone, how you going? So I thought I'd have a chat about this Rowan Ramsey video that was published on the Parliament site, sent the Federation Chamber on the 10th of December. And I thought I'd go through it with you. And if you can hear, and I'll try and make it so that you can hear it, you know what I mean? So I'm going to reply to it because this is crazy, this is, this is just crazy. So let's have a listen. He's talking about how it's only been extended for 2 years. So we'll have a listen and I'll pause it and I'll explain what I think and things like that in between.
I must say I'm really disappointed that they haven't become permanent in the sites that are designated, including Ceduna in my electorate of Grey, which was, of course, the first one in Australia to nominate itself for the process. And I might...
So he says that Ceduna was the first one to nominate itself for the process. Yes, the mayor and him. And whatever little tiny community group they got together, because like everybody else, the people who were on payments in Ceduna didn't get asked, didn't get a choice.
Point out that the people of Ceduna, the committees of Ceduna, the representatives of the people of Ceduna had a hand in drafting the original rules around the cashless debit card, and indeed the 80-20 income split came from Ceduna.
So Ceduna's reference committee and community panel made up the rules for the rest of the country, the 80-20 split and all the other rules.
I got asked on ABC radio this morning how I felt the debate had gone in Canberra this week, and I said I was pretty disappointed with it, especially the allegations around coming from the Labor Party, I must say, generally, mainly, that accusing that the card is racist. And I think by inference accusing that those that support the card are racist. I find that offensive. I find it absolutely offensive, I must say. And I make the point, as I did on radio this morning, I make the point, I have always thought that one of the most important steps in this debate was the designation of Gladstone as a trial site.
The designation of Gladstone as a trial site. Did you pick that up? Okay, we'll move on.
Gladstone has an Indigenous population of 4.1%. Australia has an Indigenous population of 3.3%. I always made the point, it's important that we have a trial of this card in a community that is not designated as Indigenous. And we do. We do have a trial there, but not with the help of the Labor Party.
He says that they have a trial in Gladstone. They don't. He doesn't know the Hinkler electorate at all, does he? And it is racist, right? The only reason why they went to Hinkler is because we're the token whites, right? So that it looks good in their stats. So when you look at it on paper, it reduces it to 62% racist instead of like 90% racist. Okay? So let's carry on.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Labor Party opposed that trial where in fact the proof is on the line. It is not racist. To call it racist, what it targets are people of working age that are on a welfare benefit. If they are managing their welfare benefit well, they can get off the card.
If they are managing their welfare benefit well, they can get off the card. It's not that easy. Only about 300 people out of 12,000 plus people have been able to get off. Most of them have been wellbeing exemptions, or a few of them have been the opt-out, but it's very difficult when Indu hold everything against you. You know, if their card declines, they hold that against you as you've had too many declines. That's out of your control. That's their problem. So let's keep going.
But many choose to stay on it anyhow. Now,
he says many choose to stay on it anyhow. How can he prove that? I have not met one card holder that wants to stay on it. Not one. Of all the card holders I've spoken to in Kalgoorlie, Kununurra, Ceduna, Hervey Bay, all the way through the Bundaberg, I've not met one that wants to stay on it. But he's claiming they all want to stay on it. So let's keep going.
Joe South I don't know if you remember Joe South, Mr Deputy Speaker, but Joe South wrote and sang a song in 1969 called Walk a Mile in My Shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes before you abuse, criticise and accuse. How is it that the people of Sojourner, the people of the Goldfields, the people of Kununurra, Gladstone have to go in and fight for their right every 12 months to get an extension on this card?
So he's now saying that the people of Sojourner, the Goldfields, right, you know, East Kimberley, Kununurra and Bundaberg and Hervey Bay have to fight for their right to stay on the card every 12 months. Is he delusional? I think so. Because these people are fighting for their rights to get off the card. Okay? And they are trying to do every appeal process. They're uploading every document that's required. They're jumping through all the hoops, right? Some of them are going on to further tribunals. They're fighting to get off the card.
And now, in 2 years' time, well, this is what they want. This is my community. I go there and I speak to the people in the streets. I speak to the community leaders. I speak to the council. I speak to the services providers there. And when I spoke to a woman, she was about 55, I'd say.
Hang on.
No?
So, he speaks to the service providers in Sojourner. He's saying that this is what everybody wants, as in Sojourner. They want to keep the card. Then let Sojourner keep the card and let everybody else have an option. Or let the people also in Sojourner who don't want the card, let them have the option of not having the card. Then we're talking about service providers. They are all gagged. They cannot speak out against any of the problems that they see from their clients coming in with relating to the card, because if they speak out publicly, they will be cut off their funding, which means people are in this for their jobs. Okay? In Sojourner, it's about keeping their funding and keeping their jobs. It's not about the people on the card. It's not about the communities that don't have internet or the children that can't buy shoes in his town. Okay, so let's carry on.
60, and she said, I was against this card. I was against this card. And then she grabbed me on the arm and she said, don't you let them take it away. But she has to still fight for the right to have this card, because we have all these people from...
She doesn't, the woman he's speaking about doesn't have to fight to keep the card. If you look at all the legislations, you can join up voluntarily. She doesn't have to fight to keep it. She can keep it if she wants to. She can join up voluntarily. Old age pensioners can also join up voluntarily. Right? Let's keep going.
The east of Australia, from the universities, from social services, high-paid lawyers, telling them what they should have. They don't have rights to actually to articulate for themselves. Now,
so he's upset because of all the people on the eastern seaboard and all the lawyers that are getting involved and all the social services sector and the welfare groups that are jumping up and down, and all the reports from all the universities that go against what their fairy tale of a working card. Right, he's upset because they're telling this lady what she can do. Well, hang on a minute. The card and Indu and Services Australia turn everybody against, they tell everybody what they can do, and if they can pay rent, and where they can pay rent, and if they can buy that bra, and if they can buy that furniture or that car, or they can't, where they can go and what they can do and what they can eat.
It is not just the people that are on the welfare card that say keep the card. It is the rest of the community too, because they too have benefit.
So now he's claiming the rest of the community is also saying, yes, keep the card. Has he gone out and actually interviewed all 3,500 residents of Sojourner? One of the reasons why there's not many First Nations people in Sojourner is they cut the bus off, the community bus from the communities. Yeah, we'll keep going. He reckons that everybody else wants it too.
They too have rights, and the card benefits them as well.
So it's about the rights of the people who are not on the card to take away the rights of those that will be put on the card or on the card. That's what he's going at here, in my understanding. Everybody feels their rights are being violated, those that are not on the card, right? And they're being denied their rights to take away the rights of fellow Australian citizens. Where do they get off?
Your community is calmer. There is less ructions on the street. There are less people reporting domestic violence. It is a better place. This young man said to me one day, oh, they got all the numbers, they got all this, they got all that, but I just know it's a better place.
How could he know? He doesn't live there. How could he know it's a better place? He doesn't live there. How could he know domestic violence is down when in every other region domestic violence is up? Go figure. And domestic violence, people in that situation are trapped by the card. They can't get out. You know?
It's a better place. Now, I don't feel like I'm backing a racist policy. I don't feel like I'm a racist, and I don't feel like the people of Ceduna that ask me, that tell me to keep this card going permanently are racists either. And I take umbrage at the way this debate has been run this week. I mean, I know opposition is a frustrating time. I spent 6 years there myself. But picking away at good community policy in this way is really a very low path in.
So he considers it good community policy to place people in a situation where they're instantly, their credit ratings go out the window. Their rental histories get black marks on them. You're putting people out on the street in some cases, right? It's good policy to push people mentally to the point of suicide, self-harm, and being medicated. That's good policy, is it? I don't think so somehow. For kids missing out on community events, being able to be included to go to a swimming pool or to be able to go to the movies. You know, Harvey Bay, remember, it was tap and go and cash only for a long time because he refused to accept the Indu card at the cinema. You know what I mean? Exclusion in Ceduna of kids being able to do their sports, dance or netball because it's all run through the footy club, which is a banned merchant, can't even buy a bottle of water. This is good community policy, is it? This is called segregation. This is called apartheid. Okay, and they're only trying to hide the fact that it's apartheid in the racist sense by having Hinkler on it to lower the stats. But it's still financial apartheid. It is abuse. Let's hear what the last little bit he's got to say.
Mr Deputy Speaker, it's a very low path in. I condemn those that have opposed this. I certainly condemn those that have paid the racist card. And I hope in 2 years' time, when it comes back up, we've got a different parliament and that we don't have to fight for the right to continue.
I think the...
So he's hoping in 2 years' time he doesn't have to have, he has a different parliament and he doesn't have to fight for the right to continue. I'm hoping in 2 years' time when this debacle, this destructive, country-destroying, divisive policy, and it is a racist policy as well, right? When it comes back up in 2 years' time, I hope we have a different parliament, mate. I hope we have an ALP government that will stand up and they will strip it. They will let people off the card. They will give people options. They will have to look at what contracts have been signed, you know, what the Commonwealth has been raked into, while the LNP have been throwing all the people's taxpayer money around, you know, to pay private companies like Indu and sell off our kids and our grandkids. And just a little tidbit to end this. I'm still trying to work out how to word it, but they've put up the new trigger payments for Cape York, and they've put up the new trigger payments generally, but for income management, which is the basics card, but they haven't specified the Northern Territory. And it's quite shocking because old age pensioners are on that list, right? Return service personnel are on that list. And in the Cape York, if you're on an eligible card, right? That's the way they're putting it. Your partner can be put on it too. Even if they're working and they only receive family tax benefit part, FTB, right? So go and have a look at the new trigger payments. And yes, it's quite horrific. That's for income management for the basics card. It also doesn't say that it doesn't say it's only for the Northern Territory. It says income management as a whole. So does that mean outside of the Territory, income management basics card is only for 22 years of under, youth allowance and job seeker, right? Whereas in the Territory, it's all payments, all ages, right? They've got people on it in their 80s. So does that mean that come March, right, we're looking at Shepparton, Playfoot, Bankstown, Logan, Gladstone? Maybe he got confused with the basics card. Who knows? But we'll see. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Of course, he had to have a go at Labor. Look, at the end of the day, if your local senator or MP voted for the card, don't vote for them. Simple as that. That's it. Make it very clear. If you vote for the card, if you support this, we're not voting for you. Bottom line. All right, guys. See ya.